Industries closed down and there was unemployment. Democracies failed to revive their economies. This resulted in political instability and the revival of dictatorship and militarism in some countries. Such dictatorial and militaristic nations indulged in territorial aggrandizement to solve their problems. Hitler took advantage of England's hatred for Soviet Russia and justified his revival of military power. When Japan committed aggression on China, no action was taken by the world powers against Japan. This emboldened Germany and Italy to follow the path of aggression. The League of Nations remained a passive spectator to deteriorating world peace. Such was the picture of world politics on the eve of the Second World War. Problems created by the First World War led the world towards the Second World War. The Second World War commenced on the 1st of September 1939 and continued till the 14th of August 1945. This war was longer in span, larger in scale, and much more disastrous in effects than the first one. Let us learn the causes of the Second World War. Causes of the war. Although the immediate cause of the war was Germany's attack on Poland, its long-term causes are to be found in the international relations during the 2 decades of the interwar period. Economic problems. The enormous economic problems faced by both the victorious and defeated nations, except the USA, were greatly responsible for the Second World War. The war efforts placed tremendous pressure on their economies, leading to serious problems like inflation and unemployment. The German economy especially was worst hit due to the huge war indemnity imposed on her. The European economies seemed to improve for a few years due to American financial assistance, but worsened further when American assistance dried up due to economic depression. Such economic crisis created acute problems in the day-to-day life of common people and caused tremendous discontent. Rise of military dictatorship. As the democratic governments failed to improve their economies, people suffered tremendous hardships and lost confidence in the democratic system of government. Consequently, people in countries such as Japan, Germany, and Italy accepted the revival of dictatorship as an alternative to a failing democratic system. At the Paris Peace Conference, lots of territorial changes were made in Europe, which caused a lot of discontent among some European countries. Similarly, the unjust conditions imposed on Germany by the Treaty of Versailles humiliated the national pride. Italy felt cheated because the victorious nations failed to fulfill their promises given to her earlier. Japan too was offended because the Western powers did not give her an equal status. These factors gave rise to aggressive nationalism. The League was created to maintain world peace by collective action. However, the concept of collective security did not materialize. The League failed to check aggressive nationalism. As a result, the aggressors defied the League, and weak small nations became a target of their inordinate ambitions. The League remained a helpless spectator to the territorial aggrandizement of countries like Japan, Germany, and Italy, leading the world towards a second conflict. As the United States of America remained out of the League, France, and especially England, played an important role in determining the policies of the League of Nations. England, however, failed to offer powerful leadership to the League due to her political and economic instability. Instead of resisting Hitler's aggressive policies, England tried to appease him. England also hoped that Hitler would direct his military might against Soviet Russia. This would result into a conflict between the two, and both would be destroyed. However, Britain's policy of appeasement left Hitler free to pursue a policy of aggrandizement. It was an important factor responsible for plunging the world in a long, bloody war. Course of the war. Immediately after Germany attacked Poland, England and France declared war against Germany on the 3rd of September 1939. This marked the beginning of the war in Europe. About 2 years later, on the 7th of December 1941, Japan launched an air attack on Pearl Harbor, the Pacific naval base of America. The next day, the United States declared war on Japan, followed by England and France. Thus, the wars in two continents combined to transform it into a world war. The war that continued for 6 years was fought on 3 continents, on land, air, and sea. War in Europe. The Polish resisted the German blitzkrieg, but could not withstand. The Polish army surrendered on the 27th of September. Thereafter, the Polish government took asylum in England. In the meantime, Soviet Russia attacked Poland from the east, and the two powers partitioned Poland between them. 4 months after Poland was defeated, Germany turned towards Norway and Denmark, and occupied Holland and Belgium by May 1940. As the British Army feared of being locked up in the area, retreated towards the French harbour Dunkirk, and managed a hasty retreat to the southern coast of Britain. It was a major defensive feat, which goes in British history as a successful Dunkirk retreat. Thereafter, the Germans bypassed the famous eastern defence line of France and entered France from the north. The French were not in a position to face the unexpected onslaught, and therefore